Hey guys, curdhos here from Hostyle Conditioning. Today's video I want to talk a bit about protein shakes. I get asked a lot when protein shakes should be taken, when's the most important time, why should we be taking protein shakes. First off, our body needs an abundant amount of protein to function, to recuperate, to regenerate, and to stay healthy. If we don't get enough protein overall, then our body is going to do the bare necessities to maintain for survival. So one of the first things that protein has to do is keep our organs fed. So our heart and our lung and our kidneys and all these things have enough nourishment to stay alive and function so that we don't die. Pretty important. Past that, if there's enough protein left over to take care of those requirements, then it'll look at what's the next stage. And typically the next stage would be to regenerate any muscle tissue that's been lost in feeding our organs if we're low, or trying to recover from the stress of training and get caught back up after being broken down. So again, only after the organs and the body's survival needs are met will there be any extra protein. If there's any left over, will that be considered for the next phase of overall muscle recuperation. Our muscle does two functions. It's a storage facility for protein, so that if our body's not getting enough in, it can feed off it so that it can turn around and keep our body alive, keeping our brains and all the organs functioning like we talked about before. And number two, it's for movement. It's for moving our body, it's for lifting, it's for strength, it's for that. So the two important areas are very important, and they need to be considered all the time. So once the organs are fed and everything is good, it'll look at recovering and rebuilding muscle tissue that's been degraded from either feeding the organs or dealing with the stress that we go through in training or everyday life, if you have a more physical job or whatever. And then, if those two requirements are met, and if there's any protein left over on a consistent basis, then it'll look at building new muscle tissue based on the stress that we're putting it through. So a lot of times guys are complaining specifically that they're trying to build muscle, they're not getting anywhere, they find that the gains aren't happening. And typically when I have a talk with them, I find out they're not eating enough protein overall or not enough frequency. You've got to get the proverbial 4 to 6 meals a day. Each meal has to have protein present so that the body can access it. So that being said, take care of organ health and body function and survival. Number two, regenerate wasted muscle tissue from either the survival mechanism or dealing with the physical stress. And then number three, it'll look at building any potential muscle mass it would like to do to deal with the overall stress it's going through. So you're going in the gym and you're working out hard, you're breaking down muscle tissue on the bench press, on the squat, and on the deadlift. Even the cable crossover burns a little bit of muscle tissue, but not a lot. Then the body would like to get caught up on that. So that's that extra 5 or 8 pounds of muscle mass that you like to gain from all your training, but that can only happen if protein is happening consistently enough and in enough abundance that the first two stages are met, so there's enough left over to build new muscle tissue. The body's very efficient. If it doesn't see enough protein, it doesn't see it often enough, it will not add more muscle mass because it can't support it. So biggest problem I see with a lot of guys coming in here, not enough protein, not frequently enough throughout the day. That being said, timing of protein intake is very important as well too. That's why we always promote a shake first thing in the morning and a shake right after the workout to recover from the trauma. And the reason why we like a shake is we like whey protein because whey protein is super complete, absorbs very well, so it's easy for the body to get it in and do what it has to do with it. So overall, what you want to make sure happens is you start off your day every morning with a protein shake so that your body has access. And as soon as that protein starts getting digested and starts hitting the bloodstream, the body's metabolic rate is going to shift up. That means things are good, green light, everything goes, you have more energy, your body feels better, it stabilizes your blood sugars, you're able to do a lot more. Number two is you have to follow that up with some solid meals so that has a consistent source of protein, so your chicken and your fish and your beef and things like that, which take longer to break down, so as you eat them, they'll break down and it'll slowly release throughout the day so that the body always has a continual supply of protein. That's why we have to have 4 to 6 servings a day of protein. And then we get to the post-workout. Now for me, a workout is anything over 20 minutes. If you've done anything with any type of intensity for over 20 minutes, you've broken down muscle tissue, you want to start recuperating, you want to start regenerating. Again, same as with the early morning shake, that post-workout shake has a need. The body's looking for something. It's like you on a hot day when you come in from outside and you drink a glass of water. How do you drink that glass of water? You usually grab it and down it right away. Imagine your muscle doing the exact same thing. All of a sudden protein and some carbs are flooding the bloodstream from the digestive system at the time of the body trying to recover the most from the workout activity. It's like that. It's just going to see it and it's going to absorb more protein at that point than any other time during the day, and you're going to be right in the middle of what we call the recovery window, where we're trying to flood the body with key nutrients, specifically protein and some carbohydrates. At that point the body can start repairing much faster, do a better job of it, and be ready for that next workout because it's had more food, more nutrition, and more time to regenerate and rebuild your body towards that. That being said, another time I like to see a little bit extra protein is usually before bed, especially for guys, especially and for ladies, especially when we get over 35 and 40. And because that little bit of protein before bed in a shake form, again, easy to digest, not a lot of calories, is going to help your body with its hormone production. So when you're in your deep sleep and your body's looking to rebuild its estrogen and its testosterone and its IGF and the growth hormone, it needs protein as building blocks to do that. So if you can flood the body just before bed with 20 to 30 grams of protein in the presence of 5 to 8 grams of good fats like a natural peanut butter, almonds, fish oils, those natural good fats also have a big role to play in hormone production. And the two together of testosterone and fats is a great 1-2 punch, so the body's provided a lot of raw building material to really take advantage of and really work towards hormone replenishment when we sleep. Again, it's all about getting lots of protein, it's all about getting protein frequently, and it's about timing. Alright? You still need your solid meals. I don't believe in just drinking shakes all day long. That doesn't work. You need some carbs with those proteins to help shuttle them in as well, and that's something we'll talk about a little bit later. But bottom line is, we need frequency, 4 to 6 times a day of protein. That's why I like 2 shakes a day minimum, because if we have a shake in the morning and 1 post-workout, then we have to worry about 3 or 4 solid meals, and that's not too hard to do with some chicken and some beef and some tuna, or hopefully some better fish along the line if you can too. And again, just make sure that you're doing it every 3 to 4 hours. Prepare a lot of your food, have a lot of chicken or whatever cooked up ready to go, so once it's time to eat, you just throw it on the plate, you microwave it up with some broccoli or cauliflower, some good vegetables, and it's a phenomenal, tight, nutrient-dense meal that your body's going to love. It's going to speed up your metabolic rate, you're going to burn more fat, increase hormone output, maximize muscle retention, recovery, and adaptation towards a stress environment. So again, it's a key thing I can't stress enough is get lots of protein, work the shakes for the ease of absorption. There's nothing more complete as a protein source than a whey protein. I'm a big fan of blends with concentrate with a little bit of isolate. I find it's the best of both worlds. Again, we can talk a bit more about that. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email me or check up on one of our websites to see some of the information we have on there. But bottom line is, if you have any type of goal as far as health, leanness, or muscle strength and recovery or muscle size, it's all about taking in an adequate amount of protein frequently throughout the day so your body basically has access to it all the time. So when it wants to go to the proverbial fridge, open up the door, there's some protein, away it can go. We never really know, other than first thing in the morning and right after the workout, just when the body's really gonna have access to protein. So what we do is we cover our bases, have a good amount of protein coming in regular throughout the day, so in that 24-hour cycle, there's lots of protein, and then again, nitrogen, which is a side effect of protein, is a positive nitrogen balance, and under the positive nitrogen balance, because of proteins, when the body can really work on rebuilding, reassimilating, and increasing your hormone output. So again, get your 2 shakes in a day in, day out. I don't care if you didn't work today. You got to recover from the last 4 to 5 days of activity. So let the body have that on days off, especially. Let it get caught up. Let it get ahead of the game overall. Feed the machine, like they say. 4 to 6 meals, a couple of shakes. Don't be shy. Hit it up hard. If you have any questions, let me know. This is Kurt from Hostyle Conditioning.